We've looked at Periscope in a lot of depth here, but actually much of what we've discussed will also work on Meerkat. Meerkat isn't quite as popular as Periscope, but it's still certainly worth your time and it actually has a lot of unique benefits of its own. What's more is that Meerkat can expose you to a new and different audience. And on top of that, you also have the excellent Blab, which has some entirely different benefits and uses. There's also YouTube live streaming, which is a little different, but for now we'll just be looking at Meerkat and Blab. When you download the Meerkat for Android or iOS, you'll find it's largely very similar to Periscope. Once again, you have a feed where you can see people's videos playing live, and at the same time, you can also start recording your own. What's lacking here compared with Periscope is the option to view feeds by geographical location or to view feeds that have finished filming. But there are also some interesting benefits and distinctions here. One is that Meerkat lets you schedule upcoming streams. This way, people can see an advert essentially for a live stream event that you're planning to do later and will know that they can check back there to watch it if they're interested. This seems to have helped Meerkat become particularly popular with certain vloggers, and there does seem to be a slightly more professional feel to lots of the videos. Another advantage to Meerkat is it lets you show images while you're talking. And this is a great way for you to illustrate or highlight your point. And what's also great about it is that it lets you show your product, your website, or your service. If you had to pick just one platform, then Periscope is probably the better choice because of its size and the power of the app. It's also the one that's likely to keep growing at the current very fast pace. But the good news is that you don't have to pick. There's nothing stopping you from using Meerkat once in a while, and if you're so inclined, you can even promote your Periscope account through it. Now, Blab is the one that's a little more interesting. This is a live streaming app that's really quite different from the other two, but in some exciting ways. Now, Blab is essentially a live streaming app that runs through your browser, although there is also an iOS app available. Rather than being used to film people walking down the road or doing workouts, Blab is more about discussions, debates, and presentations. In other words, people tend to be sat down and a bit closer to using it, a bit like Skype. As with Periscope or Meerkat, though, you can still start watching content from someone else at any time, and you can still comment on videos that they're filming or choose to follow them. What's different, though, and you'll notice this early on, is that the videos tend to take up 1/4 of the screen, or they're split into 4 segments with 4 different people. What's going on here is that it really is like Skype insofar as you can watch one person presenting or you can watch 2, 3 or 4-way discussions. One person creates the stream and then starts filming and chatting, and then at any point they can invite other people to take a seat and join the discussion. This creates a whole new slew of opportunities and potential ways to market yourself. For instance, it means that you can be much more interactive with your audience. Want to do an AMA? Then why not just invite your audience to take turns asking you questions live on air that you can answer on camera and that other people can watch. Likewise, you can conduct interviews with people across the globe. Another great benefit of this is that when someone joins the discussion, they become a host for the content as well. And this means that their followers will then also see the footage being promoted in their feed, meaning that you can get more eyes on what you're recording. What's also interesting about this is that it makes it possible for you to appear in other people's videos and thereby gain exposure that way. Now, say you're watching a video being recorded by a big blogger like Tim Ferriss. You could ask him to have a go in the hot seat, and if he said yes, you'd then be exposed to his entire audience watching at the same time, giving you an amazing opportunity to show how much you know and the kinds of content that you're capable of producing. When you first go on Blab, you'll find that people are very keen to invite you into their discussions, and this can actually be quite nerve-wracking at first. In fact, this is also perfect practice for getting better at presenting and also for getting better at interacting with strangers and for speaking as an authority on your topic. In other words, this is fantastic practice for presenting and a great way to hone your skills. And it's very useful even if you only use it for that purpose. There are additional benefits of Blab too. One is that the footage you record here is saved not just for 24 hours, but actually indefinitely. And this means that people can opt to watch videos that you made at any point, and that's a great way to get more exposure. Another advantage is that Blab lets videos be sorted by niche and topic, and this makes them easier to look through, and it's very helpful for improving discovering of your videos or helping you to find content that you're interested in. But despite all its benefits, Blab still isn't quite up there with Periscope yet. For starters, it's much smaller in terms of its user base, and it's actually still in beta at the moment when I'm making this video. On top of that, it's designed very much to be used for conversations, and having a small quadrant of the screen doesn't really lend itself to sharing videos that aren't all about talking. So this isn't a good option if you want to stream a concert or a big event. And as mentioned, there are also a few other platforms. YouTube lets you stream events, but you'll need to promote those events for them to show up. Of course, the advantage is how well known YouTube is, and you can build some massive audiences here. Twitch, meanwhile, is great if you're promoting a blog about gaming, but otherwise it isn't really applicable. But otherwise, well, watch this space. It's only a matter of time before some new contenders enter the scene.